Coming up, road crews work to make sure driving is easier following the heavy snowfall across the region last night. And the 3 men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery are sentenced today. We'll have the latest from outside the courthouse in Brunswick, Georgia.
It's Arctic air in place for tonight and into tomorrow morning. But after that, big changes on the way. I'll break it all down coming up right now at 5:30.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Travel was treacherous for some across the mountains today. Despite major progress made in the snow removal, slick spots remained, leading to crash after crash on Interstate 75 from Rockcastle County down to Whitley County. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the traffic headaches.
Robert Combs was taking his mother to work early Friday, and it was an uneasy feeling knowing about all the numerous wrecks all over the area.
I just worry about people's safety. Man, ain't nothing else to really think about. Think about my safety, and hopefully I don't, slide over into anybody else or anything like that.
Interstate 75 was closed multiple times Friday morning at multiple locations from Rockcastle to Whitley counties.
There is 2 trailers on your left side coming north. They're just piled up.
That crash was near Williamsburg. Another near Livingston in Laurel County involved a car hauler and this truck. One of the cars actually ended up on the top of the truck's bed. The driver was taken to the hospital as a precaution. Police say from Thursday through today, they were very busy.
We probably had as many as 50 people in the ditch yesterday when all this snow started falling, because they were trying to get home, but they just couldn't get home. It was coming down so fast.
Police were still urging people to stay home Friday, but many said they had work or important appointments to make.
The biggest thing I see is just be careful, don't try to pass. Stay in one lane, watch the people around you, keep plenty distance.
Police say most of the crashes they worked Friday involved either minor or no injuries. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
As of early this morning, all the crashes from Rockcastle to Whitley counties had been cleared up, and there were no more weather-related closings reported on I-75. The winter storm that hit us yesterday also hit much of the U.S., leaving snow and freezing conditions from the Rockies to Nashville, Tennessee, all the way up to New York. In Nashville, nearly half a foot of snow was recorded there, while road crews in Virginia worked to keep I-95 from backing up like it did earlier this week. In Wisconsin, 2 firefighters responding to a crash were killed when a semi-truck hit their car. Heavy snow shut down another interstate in Colorado, stranding tourists at a ski resort.
I'm stuck right here right now. We don't see snow like this in Texas for sure.
Power outages have also been widespread in some areas, fortunately not around here. Around 60,000 people, though, are without power in Virginia, the 5th day in a row for some of those folks.
Well, our snow has moved out. We've even seen a little bit of sunshine as we've moved towards the sunset hour here in the mountains. It has not helped those temperatures at all. It is frigid outside. I-75 in London, you see traffic moving okay. They've gotten enough of the roads scraped off for now, though anything that was able to melt today, which isn't much, but anything that was able to melt today would quickly refreeze overnight with those temperatures remaining in the teens. As we head out to London Corbin Airport, you see the runway still having some slick spots on it, but the sidewalks back to the building looking okay. Nice sunset in progress, by the way. 18 right now at London Corbin Airport. It's 19 in Hazard. It's 15 in Jackson. It's already 14 degrees in Moorhead. However, further to the south, they got a little more sunshine today. 27 Jacksboro and 24 in Middlesboro. Feels like right now, though, Huntington, West Virginia feels like 8 degrees, and it feels like 11 in Wise. The good news there is that we're not dealing with too much in the way of wind, so those wind chills aren't going to be off the charts. Satellite and radar, the last of the flurries diminishing from earlier on this afternoon. Keep that WYMT weather app handy, though. You'll get the latest from us, of course, the latest forecast and radar imagery, and of course, an easy way for you to send your pictures to us. Just scan that QR code in the upper right-hand part of your screen, and you'll be taken to the download page where you can get that on both the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. We're down into the teens yet again tonight. Cold start to our Saturday, but some improvement on the way. I'll have those details coming up in a few short minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Authorities in South Carolina have charged a man with a murder and kidnapping from 35 years ago. The Lexington County Sheriff's Office says Thomas Eric McDowell killed 4-year-old Jessica Gutierrez. She went missing from her home on June 6th of 1986. McDowell, who lived in Lexington County at the time, was arrested at his home near Raleigh, North Carolina, Thursday morning. He's being held in the Wake County Detention Center. It's unclear what led authorities to McDowell. The 3 men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery were sentenced today. The case gained national attention after video surfaced of them chasing and shooting the 25-year-old black man in a Georgia neighborhood nearly 2 years ago. CBS's Mark Strassman has the latest from outside the courthouse in Brunswick, Georgia.
With regard to the sentence in this case,
Judge Timothy Walmsley in Georgia sentenced defendants Travis McMichael and his father Greg McMichael to life in prison without the chance of parole for the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. William Roddy Bryant, the 3rd defendant, got life with the possibility of parole.
today the defendants are being held accountable for their actions.
Arbery's father told the court his heart will always be broken.
When I close my eyes, I see his execution in my mind. Over and over.
Guilty.
A jury convicted the defendants in November, more than a year and a half after video showed the 3 men chasing down Arbery and shooting him while he was jogging in a Georgia neighborhood in February of 2020. The defense claimed their clients thought Arbery was a burglar and were trying to make a citizen's arrest, but there was no evidence of any crime. Travis McMichael's lawyer argued against the maximum sentence.
This was not a planned murder. This was not a murder involving torture.
During her victim impact statement, Arbery's mother threw a jab at a controversial comment one of the defendant's lawyers made about her son during the trial.
I wish he would have cut and cleaned his toenails before he went out for that jog that day. I guess he would have if he knew he would be murdered.
For these 3 sentenced murder defendants, the legal troubles go on. They'll be back in court next month to stand trial on federal hate crime charges. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Brunswick, Georgia.
William Roddy Bryan must serve at least 30 years in prison before being granted the possibility of parole. Hackers have targeted software that powers the websites of thousands of schools with a ransomware attack. The final site says about 5,000 of the 8,000 schools it works with have been impacted. Those schools include colleges and high schools. A final site spokesman says it does not believe any data was compromised and most of the sites are back online. The company first discovered the breach Tuesday. Workers shut down its network and rebuilt the code in a clean environment. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is pumping an estimated $750 million into school meals programs nationwide. The agency said Friday that schools will receive an additional 25 cents per lunch to counter higher food costs and other issues. In recent months, the USDA provided $1 billion to schools to purchase food, as well as $300 million to states to buy food to be distributed to schools. And an additional $200 million was allocated for a new program to support farmers supplying food for schools. A top Tennessee lawmaker says he regrets his behavior at his son's basketball game. Representative Jeremy Faison chairs his state's House Republican caucus. In a tweet, he says he lost his temper and acted like a fool Tuesday night. The Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association says a ref called a foul on Faison's son. It says the lawmaker then yelled at the man and tried to pull down his pants. Faison says he hopes to be able to find the ref and ask for forgiveness. One of the nation's biggest banks is trying to get employees boosted with a philanthropic twist. Reuters says Bank of America told workers it will donate $100 to food banks for every employee who gets a COVID-19 booster shot. The incentive will reportedly run through the end of the month. Gamestop shares jumped as much as 20% this morning. It comes after the Wall Street Journal reported the company is creating a non-fungible token marketplace. The company reportedly plans to allow people to buy, sell, and trade NFTs for virtual video game goods, think avatar outfits and weapons, on the marketplace. Though GameStop has not confirmed the news, a new page on its website invites interested persons to fill out a form to request becoming a creator. The Deputy Postmaster General is asking the government for a temporary delay from the COVID-19 vaccine mandate for U.S. Postal Service employees. Deputy Postmaster General Doug Tolino sent a letter to the Occupational Safety and Health Administration on Tuesday. In it, he wrote that the mandate will likely cause many postal employees to quit or be fired, and that with the current supply chain and staffing challenges, the U.S. cannot afford more potential setbacks to our mail delivery system. He requested a 120-day extension of the deadlines to comply with the mandate. Spacex kicked off the new year Thursday by launching 49 more Starlink internet relay satellites into orbit. The Falcon 9 launch from Kennedy Space Center in Florida pushed the total number of satellites launched so far to nearly 2,000. The initiative was the latest step in SpaceX's drive to build out a globe-spanning constellation of laser-connected internet relay stations designed to supply relatively high-speed broadband service to customers anywhere on the planet. The company has regulatory approval to launch thousands more. Losing control of those dry January goals, according to a one-poll survey in the UK, more than half of sober hopefuls cave by the second week of the year, January 16th to be exact. Nearly 1 in 4 already admit they won't stay dry for the entire month, and about 1/3 are content with just making it to mid-month. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the unemployment rate falls to just 3.9%, but there's concern about the COVID surge impacting the job market. We'll have a look at the latest Labor Department numbers.
And it's a frigid one on the way for tonight, but I've got improvements in the forecast and just in time for the weekend. I'll break it all down straight ahead.
WYMT News app.